I rang up this morning, I couldn't get through, so I am going to have a rant on your session now. So basically, everyone's going on about council tax. Those council tax, 100%, they'll go up. And the reason for that is the net migration coming in. And I'm not joking, Sheila. Please do something in Leicester regarding net migration. Do a programme on it.
Why will that increase council tax in and of itself? I mean, there's lots of pressures on council tax. Why do you land on migration?
Right. And the reason why I've gone on to that, because we've had a lot of people, net migration, coming to Leicester. It's put a lot of pressure on housing, schooling, everything. Lots and lots of pressure. They can't speak English. They don't know any English, so they're not going to get by. So they're all having children and they're all claiming for housing.
Well, listen, there's nothing wrong with having children. People are allowed to have children. And Josie, I know from first-hand experience, you may know different, but I know from first-hand experience that people who come here with no English, the majority of them learn English very quickly. There's now council-run sort of your obligatory courses for migrations to go on to learn English. I know of a situation where a fluent English-speaking Ukrainian migrant is teaching English to migrants. So, you know, it's just not true that there's no expectation of them to learn English. I mean, it's not an
I'm not saying there can't be expectation. I am not saying that at all. It's the pressure of the amount of people coming in. I'm not saying that we don't need migrants, because of course we do. We've lived with migrants all the way through, and they've served a fantastic
You
purpose.
just want legal migration more controlled, and obviously illegal migration, you want that controlled.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The counts that are coming in are far ridiculous. That you know, and Sunak did that. Sunak 100% did that.
Well, I'll tell you what else did that. Brexit did that as well, because the freedom of movement of people from places like Spain, Portugal, France, Italy, and Romania, wider Europe, when that stopped, so did the flow of those people in the same numbers. So we had to go searching around the world for others.
Yeah, but Sheila, you know, I'm not saying we don't need migration. Why are we getting in people from countries that are not at war, right? That they are okay in their own countries.
You're talking about asylum. You're talking about asylum there, which is different from immigration in a very key respect. But yeah, if you know, you're not on your own, Josie, in being concerned about those numbers by any means. Thank you very much for your call. That's Josie in Leicester. So in light of some of the things that we repeated, you know, we replayed for you of Rishi Sunak's comments this morning and his conversations with you this morning, has he done anything to move you to vote for him? Has he done anything to move the dial on those dreadful polls? We'll talk more about the dreadful polls for the Tories at the moment. He's been saying, he said it to Nick, that the only poll that matters is the one on July the 4th. And he's right to say that. But there's been a consistent picture in the polls, which is very bad news for the Conservatives and very good news for Labour, who say they're not being smug about that. They are still fighting for every vote. But the newsagents and More in Common have had an MRP poll carried out for them, and we'll hear from Lewis Goodall in about 15 minutes time about what it found. It's not great news for Rishi Sunak, but are you still giving him and the Conservatives a hearing?
Well, yes. I mean, I think that Rishi Sunak is probably hard done to.
Yes.
I don't actually think he's done anything wrong. He probably hasn't got the charisma and the ability to connect with the public when speaking that probably Keir Starmer has.
Really?
Yes.
Crikey.
I mean, Keir Starmer is a barrister.
I don't think he's very charismatic, though, is he?
Well, I wouldn't. Well, he can twist a conversation to get the outcome that he wants because he's good at doing that. Rishi Sunak.
I mean, I'm sort of disagreeing with everybody, which was bound to happen this hour. I don't think he is very. I don't think he is very good at that, actually, Richard. But we all see what we see. We all see what we see.
But the point I'm trying to make is, yes, I think Rishi Sunak is a safe pair of hands. I mean, he did a good job as Chancellor. He got the country through COVID, did a great job with the furlough scheme, and then the bounce back loans, which helped thousands and thousands of businesses.
He chose not to investigate all of the corruption, sort of billions of pounds worth of corruption. And what could they have done differently, do you think?
Well, there's huge amounts they could have done differently.
So what country would you point at as an example of getting it wrong?
Well, if you look at England, we have a population of 60 million.
No, I mean in terms of what we did during COVID, the countries that did something differently and got it wrong.
I mean, I don't think this is about COVID, but I actually think we did a great job.
You brought COVID up. You literally said he's a safe pair of hands, and then to give me the proof, the first thing you mentioned was COVID. He got us through COVID, you said. So I'm wondering, who are you comparing us to? Where is the country that didn't do what he did? Because it was bleeding obvious that they were going to have to do furlough.
We performed better than Wales, which has a population of 3 million, and Scotland, that has a population of 5 million.
Performed better by what? By what metric? What metric did we perform better than Wales and Scotland?
By numbers of deaths per capita.
Right.
And also, we got back to work a lot quicker, which has improved our economy.
So people went back to work quicker in England than they did in Scotland?
Yeah, they did, because Scotland were pushing to have far more restrictions in place.
And that was a decision taken by the Chancellor of the Exchequer, was it?
I'm just trying to make the point how we got through COVID. But the real point that I'm trying to make is that we have to look at you are an economist, or you've got a background in
no, I don't. But never mind. You carry on.
Okay, fair enough. Then. Well, when you look at the economy, we need. Our country is doing well. We are growing faster than the likes of Germany and Europe. Yeah. We've come through COVID. Yeah. We've gone through Brexit. We are growing.
So we want more of the same.
Well, when you look at what we do, we're growing. We're far ahead of our peers. So if you look at Wales, Labour is run by Wales.
Yeah,
the NHS.
But Wales is run by Labour.
By Labour. The waiting lists in Wales are worse than England.
Yeah.
We have a population in England of 60 million.
You keep saying that. I don't know what point you think you're making on that. But anyway, I mean, Rishi Sunak.
I'm trying to make is why would we trust Labour when they can't even run Wales?
Keir Starmer's not running Wales.
Labour are running Wales. It's the same people. Well, it's the same firm.
Boris Johnson was running England not long ago. Are you a fan of his?
Well, yeah, he's done a good job.
Boris Johnson.
Morning, Prime Minister. My name's Aayagi. I'm 17. I just wanted to ask, why should I have to do national service, and what do I gain from it?
Morning, Aayagi. Thanks for the question. I've got 2 girls who are a bit younger than you, and I'm excited for them to do national service. I'll tell you, I just met someone literally just at the weekend, actually, who's someone in their 20s, a little bit older than you, and they had done St John's Ambulance, volunteered alongside their studies, and actually that day they had just helped someone who'd had a fall and most likely broken their hip, elderly gentleman, and they were able to help that person get the ambulance there, get them looked after, and that person was obviously incredibly grateful, and they made a real difference to that person. And I was talking to them about that experience, and they were really positive about national service because, that person's experience shows you how powerful it can be. Now, that person had come from not an easy background, and they were saying being able to be part of something, contribute to something in their community, actually, help change their lives, right? And it gave them a sense of purpose and identity. And I think service can do that for you, as well as you saw in that case, learning a really practical set of skills that have helped them and allowed them to help other people.
Are your daughters excited about the possibility, Mr. Sunak?
As I said, they're more excited about that than they were when I announced maths to 18. I can tell you that.
What do you sense they would seek to do? Would they want to do actual...
They're having that debate. I think I've got one of each at the moment.
When you said one of each, one to do national service, one to do voluntary work? Is that what you're saying?
Because remember, you'll have a choice here, Aayagi. So everyone will have a choice. And actually, the very small number of people will do the military component because it will be competitive and selective. And the vast majority of people will end up doing something more in the civic sector, as I said, like St John's Ambulance, helping elderly people. And as I said, I think it allows you to be part of something bigger than yourself, and that gives you meaning and purpose in life. You'll learn a set of practical skills that you will, I think, that will serve you well. And more generally, as a country, it will contribute to our resilience, which is a good thing too.
Let's see if Aayagi is sold. Aayagi, your response to the Prime Minister?
Well, I've actually been part of the Combined Cadet Force for 2 years.
Okay.
Oh, fantastic.
And,
well done.
Yeah, it was.
How did you find that experience? How is it? What has it meant to you? How has it helped you?
It was hard. It taught me discipline. Obviously, we were camping outside. It was very hard. But again, I think, like you said, it just teaches us resilience and, teamwork and all of that.
Yeah. A vote for that. Aayagi, good luck with that. Thank you for your question.
Thanks, Aayagi.
Have a good one.
As I said, footballers get called up on this all the time, and they get fined and suspended accordingly. So. it says a lot about that individual.
There were three well, we don't know whether they did it yet. There's an investigation. Let's wait and see. It's an allegation.
Yes,
but there was. You mentioned. It's interesting that you mentioned football because it was Ivan Toney, wasn't it? Who I think is in the England setup. Not that we know when England's playing anymore. Who cares? Who cares about the Euros? But he was suspended.
Only 17 minutes of counting.
Reece, come on. There's an audience to keep here, fella.
Sorry.
Thank you. There was some. He did some betting, didn't he, on football matches and was suspended years ago. I think there were 3 Pakistani cricketers who bet on a no ball when they were bowling, and funnily enough, bowled a no ball when they were bowling, and they were suspended too.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really important that these individuals are pulled up on it. I always say the company I work for look after the business, and the business will look after you. So anyone who kind of seeks to gain for themselves, and instead of the best interest for in this case, the government, they're a poison to the system and need to be removed if they have done it. The audacity and self-entitlement it's astounding. They should spend more time working on policies and the manifesto rather than looking at the best odds.
Hi. You were happy to serve in Jeremy Corbyn's shadow cabinet from 2016. Without the waffle about believing Labour wouldn't win the 2019 election, just give me a simple yes or no answer. Had Labour won the election in 17 or 19, would you be happy to serve in the cabinet under Prime Minister Corbyn?
Well, I didn't think we'd win either of those, Graham, and there's no getting away from that. And certainly,
just a simple yes or no. If you were part of the shadow cabinet, would you have been happy to serve in his cabinet if he won?
Well, Graham, it's a pure hypothetical. Didn't cross my mind because I didn't think we would win. But let me just...
So you campaigned for him because you thought you wouldn't win?
Look, I campaigned for Labour because I've campaigned for Labour in every election, and I wanted good colleagues to be returned.
But had they won? Graham's is a fair point. Had they won, would you have accepted a post in Mr Corbyn's cabinet?
I don't think we were going to win. I don't think anybody thought we were going
very bright
to win.
Man. You know that's not answering the question, Sir Keir. Had they been successful, would you have taken a cabinet post?
Look, Nick, it's a hypothetical. I didn't think we would win. I did take a post. Look, I served for 3 years in the shadow Brexit role because I thought that was a very important issue for our country.
But would you have followed him into government?
Look, it's hypothetical. If we got it over the line, because I didn't think it would happen. But look, if we got it over the line, there were important things that I thought needed to be done from the front bench to continue and complete on the Brexit work, to make it absolutely clear that the Labour Party never deviated from our position on NATO, and to do the necessary work on anti-Semitism. But Nick, as we went into that 2019 election, I genuinely did not think, and I think I wasn't alone in this, that Labour would win that election.